For project 2, down here, it is not due until the 25th, which is coming up. But we can also see here that this will be due after the second session, or sorry, the fifth session. So make sure you try to submit it by the 25th, but it does go past the fifth session cutoff. So if you don't have enough time or anything, just let me know. Always communicate with me if you need more time for these. That'll be much more helpful. But if you just go into project 2 and open it up, you'll get a nice document here. And we can read through this together just to make sure it's all making sense. The intro again. We are going to be creating our own advertorial here. And again, our advertorial is an editorial in the style of an advertisement. So up here, it's a bit hard to see, but there is a watch example that we spoke about earlier, and it is in the form of an advertorial. So Modern Heritage speaks a bit about the watch and their story, but it also includes an advertisement for them too. Again, an advertorial is a way to combine the words of an advertisement and an editorial. And then you can give that, an advertorial replicates the style that an editorial would have on an online newspaper. And the way that it replicates that is by using different titles, font styles, sizing, and formatting, and column width as well. Now, what you're going to be doing for project 2 will be to develop your own advertorial. So you can pick a product or a service that you know a lot about. So I do know one student mentioned that they are very into soccer and the club uniforms. So maybe that will be a very good one to pick. Some of you might know a lot about some type of drinks or some type of tools or products. So picking something that you know a good deal about would always be useful. And the second part that you're going to want to do as well is you're going to want to pick a newspaper, magazine, or website where you want this advertorial to appear. So, for example, let's say I'm going to stick with this watch example here. So, I don't know too much about watches, but let's just pretend I did. And again, the reason that we want you to pick something that you know a lot about is because you can write a story a bit easier about that. But if you are also interested in trying to find a product that you know nothing about and you want to try to get familiar with it, you can use this as you can use this as an excuse to do that too. But either one is fine with me. Just make sure that you're able to create an advertorial for it. Let's see here. Cool. So very quickly, let's figure out. So off the top of my head, for my product or service, I picked a watch that I'm going to use. And the next part, I'm going to pick a magazine, website, or newspaper it will appear in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Google really quickly, and then I'm just going to say watches.com. And if I click on watches.com, we'll now see that I have this website here. And the reason that we're going to look at this website is we're going to try to make it so that our style fits into this website here. And again, this doesn't need to be absolutely perfect 100%, but this just gives you an idea of how you want to brand and discuss your type of your type of advertorial. And you can get some ideas from here. If you see here, we have a font style of 50% off, and then it goes smaller. We could see a few color schemes, such as red and white seems to work a little well together. And we could scroll down here, and we see that the scheme is pretty much the same throughout these. So again, your advertorial is going to combine the usages of colors and font styles as well, beyond just the content itself. Okay, so let's just say for my editorial advertising, I now have my watches picked. I'm just going to pick a random watch, and then I'm also going to use the watches.com as a website it might appear in. If you want to find a magazine or anything as well, you can always just go to Google. Let's see here. And then inside of Google, we can just go ahead and type in newspapers about, let's see here, whichever product you pick. Maybe you picked boots or anything like that as well. And then let's see here. There might be some websites that talks about boots as well. Maybe that's not a good idea. I'll just say about watches as well. And then there might be some websites and stuff here. And of course, all these ideas though is just searching online yourself to figure it out. I don't have a go-to strategy to find these, but just using Google and typing in newspapers, magazines, or websites about XYZ would be helpful for that. Now, we just discussed earlier concepts of an advertorial and how to develop it and discuss it, but we could do a small little example here of doing our own. Now, again, you're going to want to have a headline that is a very compelling one to grab the attention of the reader. You're going to want to have a story about the product and what you're writing about and what makes it interesting. And then again, the third part is that you want to write the story that you're creating similar to what would be in that publication. So if I look at the watches.com again, see here, I have my brands, maybe California Watch. You can see here, California Watch brings the fun and excitement of the West Coast to the entire collection of watches. Each model is named after a cool location in California, so you always have that reminder of your wrist to get out there and explore. So again, these are pretty interesting. You have a lot of different styles and brands. And what we could do for my advertorial, I'm not going to steal that entire idea, but we kind of try to make something a bit similar, right? And again, the reason I'm picking watches is because the watches are up there. If you wanted to do something similar, that's fine with me too. Just let me know. But again, try to pick a product that you know a bit about and can write about. And what you're going to do now is you're going to try to figure out a way that you can make your advertorial work here. So how do I go about actually creating my advertorial if I want to get these two column things? Well, what you could do very easily is actually just make a new document here, wherever you'd like it. And then I'm doing this in Word. You can use any program that you'd like. If you don't mind doing this as well, you can use your CSI email or your Gmail or a different account if you have one. You can go to Google and type in free online, let's see here, advertorial maker. And you can see here, free online ad maker. There's a few of them here. And the only downside of these, though, is that you might, or you don't might, you might need to sign up for them. So if you sign up using your email and stuff, you'll be brought to this kind of drag and drop builder. And what I can do is sign up and do a separate video on that too. But for now, let's just say that we're working with Word. What we could do is go up to the top up here and hit insert. And then what I'm going to try to do is insert those columns that I had. Sorry, everyone. It's been a while since I've used Word here. Where are those columns? Sorry, everyone. Let's see here. Here we go. I think it was in layout, actually. There it is. Cool. So if you go, sorry about that. If you go into layouts and then you go to your columns, you will see that there's one. You can hit 2. And then you'll notice now, let me just type up stuff. You'll notice now that I have my columns selecting the half of it there. So now I can go about trying to make my advertorial a little bit. If I want to, I can insert a header image here. So if I go to the insert, I can go over to header. And then what I'm going to type into the header is maybe just my watch idea. So let's see here. What type of watch do I want to use? Maybe, I'm not sure, but I'm not too creative all the time. But maybe I'll just use old school watches for this one here. And then what I can do is go ahead, make this a bit larger and stuff like that as well. And I think what's going to be the most time consuming about this product is figuring out cool styles and cool cool types of design and layouts as well. Now, something important to note is that there's a few ways you can go about doing this project. You can create all of your information first. Can you? Oh yeah, I'm recording the explanation right now, so this will be posted to the YouTube, and I'll do a few more because this one might take a bit longer too. But anyway, after you put in those columns there, you can go ahead and start typing whatever you'd like as well. And what I would say is take advantage of the internet during this. Try to look up some examples. What I'll do here for an example of how to look up stuff here is if I have my Google open, I can say stuff like watch advertorial. And again, you don't want to, copy and paste anything, but looking at this would always be helpful to figure out if there's some good ideas with it too. So if you see here, I have a watch that's right here, and you can see that their layout is very interesting. They have this interesting type of design with some columns, and they have quite a few pictures as well. We don't need to go too crazy with it as well. Here you go. There's another. This is more like an advertisement specifically. But again, you only need 300 words for this one to discuss the story. Let's see here. Seems like they have a picture and stuff too. So there's a bunch of different stuff you can look at. But if whichever product that you're picking, you want to make sure you can always just type in online the advertorial and then the type of product that you want to advertise for it too. Here's another one that was from our actual project. This is the Modern Heritage Watch. So what I could do now is, let's say that this is an interesting watch that I want to showcase on my advertorial. So I can right click on this and I can save the image to my desktop. And I'm just going to call this one watch. And then if I go back into my advertorial here, I can go to the insert page and then I can insert a picture. Again, the way I went to here is I just went to insert and then pictures. And then you can insert picture from this device because I saved my photo to there. Or you can also drag and drop this if you'd prefer. But then if you go to your desktop and you have your watch and I hit insert, I'll now have access to this type of image that I can move around on my page. There's a bunch of different styles you could pick from as well, which are all pretty cool. And again, I'm just using Word. If you don't have Word and you need help figuring out maybe some other tools and stuff, that's completely fine. But Word should be fine for this one too. If you're having a rough time trying to figure out how to wrap the text around it, you could always use the wrap text option here. And what this does is it allows you to either put stuff behind your text or in front of it. I think there's one square. Does square do it? Yep. So if you pick square, you're actually able to move this image around wherever you'd like it to. And again, I might just put it smack dab in the middle here. And then maybe if I'd like it to, let's see here, I can type up this watch. Oh, now I need to think of 300 words to type up really quick. But let me, because that's going to be up to you guys to figure out the full text of your story. I'll do a bit, but I also just want to show off what the layouts and stylings could be too. But let's try to look up what we could talk about with the story as well. So again, the reason that you want to pick a product that you know a lot about is that you can kind of type a story about it. And when we say we want to make a story, we're essentially saying that we want to provide needs and what this watch does for the customer. We don't want to say to the customer to please buy our product because, again, that's kind of what the end goal is. But what we're doing now is we're telling a story about this certain product. So again, say this watch provides a way to view time in a fashionable manner, something like that as well. And again, let's see here. If you're ever having trouble figuring out what to write as well, you can always look up watch advertorials, go to all or something as well. Maybe there's some advertisements on watch time. Let's see here. As you can see here, a deep dive into the history of Citizen. And you can see here that this is like a newsletter thing as well. But there's quite a few ideas that you can get from a lot of these sites as well. Sometimes I like reading advertorials that other people wrote just to see what they were discussing about the watch. The watch might not be the best idea though, because a lot of these are just straight up advertisements. Yeah, and you can see here the world's most accurate watch. Some of these might be pretty good. Cool. And as you can see here, you can have, this one is very intense about the, apologies. This is the reason why you'd want to pick a product you know a lot about. These people do a deep dive into what their watch is made of. As you can see here, The key is the unique three-prong quartz crystal, which produces a vibration frequency of that 8 times greater than the usual two-prong crystal. So that's very high tech, but it shows off that they know what they're talking about with this watch. Again, you don't need to go as hardcore as that with this watch or with your advertorial or anything, but being able to talk about the product that you pick might be good. Maybe my family's in manual labor, so we use a lot of tools. So maybe a certain drill that uses a lot of, it has a flashlight on it and is able to be lightweight but powerful is a good one as well. You might be maybe a certain car seat or some maybe if you have pets, certain type of products for your pets. There's a lot of ideas that you can pick from, but you want to make sure you pick an idea where you can speak a lot about it. Again, this one is pretty hardcore, but we can kind of think about that as well. So if we see here, provides a way to view time in a fashionable manner, accuracy of the time, of the I'm just going to type off random stuff here for now. I think it was talking about quartz, right? So we just talk about quartz as well. So actually the time will always be correct. Or again, I just try to think of stuff to type up on the spot, but I wanted to show off the idea that again, I don't know a ton about watches, but this is the idea of why you would want to pick something that you know a lot about so you can speak about it too. So we're just trying to tell a story here in order to make our advertorial. High tech creation. Awesome. And what I'll do right now really quickly, you might have heard of the lorem ipsum before as well, is that I am going to just generate some dummy text really quick. And the way that I did this here, and again, this is, you guys can't do this. You guys actually need to type up the story. But because for the sake of time and clarity, I'm just going to put some stuff in here. Sorry. So this is all dummy text and it doesn't make any sense, which is fine. But you can see here, I want to make sure that my my layouts are the same. So I'm going to highlight my text. I'm going to use maybe, I think Calibri was pretty nice and maybe at a size of 12, which is good. And now you'll notice that this looks a little boring though, right? It's just the one side. So what I can do is I can maybe put this down a bit more here. Maybe like this. And then what I can do as well is maybe I want to start typing stuff up on the other side of my column. So I can click enter a bunch to go to the bottom of my page and it brings me to the other side. And you'll notice where my cursor is. If I copy and paste this again, I now have text that kind of goes over the other aspect of it too. And what I can put down here now is another image. So what I'll do now is maybe I'll just grab another watch image. Let's see here. Maybe something like this. Let's see here. I'm just going to call this watch 2. Save. And then I'm going to go back into my document. I'm going to go to insert a picture from this device. And then I can do the watch 2. And now I have my nice little watch. And again, if you go up here for the formatter, you can pick the different styles for it. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect or, you know, it doesn't need to be crazy complex or anything. But just being able to showcase what the product is about and making an advertorial will be helpful. And again, you'll notice if everyone sees this is kind of being cut off, if you want to fix that, you can go to the wrap text. And then you can figure out the different ways to wrap it. So through might be pretty good for this one. You can see the text kind of bends down there. And again, this looks pretty good so far. I mean, for me, I'm not very gifted with the logical design and stuff. I'm more so about the database things. But as you can see here, it's a decent start for this. I can add in more text here. I can make this a bit smaller and maybe bring it down a bit. There's a lot of cool things I could do. I can maybe bring it over here. And as you can see, this is kind of my editorial. So I used Word and I went through the steps here using Word. But if you use a different product, if you have Photoshop, if you've taken DM140 with Photopea, You can use Photo P as well to put in text and images. I think that Word should do a good enough job of doing it as well. Let me see if I can add in a background here for ourselves. See what this does. Is it easy? Cool. Now if we go to design and then page color. Yep. So the way I got to this again is by going to design and going over to the right and seeing page color. You can go ahead and try to pick different colors that we like to use. I kind of liked one of those blues that was there at the start. Yeah, this blue-gray looks pretty cool because it kind of has like this unique look to it. I can highlight all my text again by just selecting it like this. And then what I can do is go to the home and the color. Then maybe I can make them... oh, that's the background. Where's my text color? That's not it. Sorry, everyone. I have a lot of options here. Cool. Regardless of it as well, if you want to take out the... Let's try to take out this background text there. Why is it doing that to us? Okay. I'm not sure why it just popped up with the white. But regardless, let's just say... Cool. Anyway, you can go around to the Word document and change up your stuff. Again, the important part as well is I want you guys to figure out cool designs and elements of sizing and what the color scheme would look like too. So there's a lot of different things that you can work with here. And I think that this project, again, it's I think the hardest part for you guys would probably be picking out the product that you can talk a lot about. Again, you want to make a story of the product, and then because the design and this stuff here is doable with time and practice. So this is, I'm not too worried about getting the design down, but just make sure that you pick a product that you can look up. And again, whatever product you pick, look it up. See if there's editorials out there already. Do some research, figure out if you can look at some ads to get some ideas. My little example here, I read about the quartz and all that complicated stuff into the watch. So what I did is I talked a bit about the accuracy of the time will always be correct because of the high tech used to create it. So essentially, we're talking about quartz and stuff as well. If you pick a product that you know in and out, you're able to discuss it a lot of times. And again, you're not trying to say buy this product and sell it to people. You're more so saying a story about it, about why the product is good, why someone might need it, and what its usefulness is. So again, you could start off your advertorial, excuse me, by saying something like, "Oh, have you forgotten the time? Oh, are you having trouble drilling in screws on the job site? Do you need a better drill?" and stuff like that as well. So again, what you're presenting to the customer is a solution to some problems they might have. And again, you are discussing your product in detail. So make sure that you pick a product that you know pretty well. Now, this is a very basic advertorial, and I do need to change up the color scheme there for it. But as you can tell, let me just do the word count. So I'm at 150 words now, and I used a bit of the copy pasting from, I'm just using dummy text because for the interest of time. But again, try to get a minimum of 300 words in there. If you're finding that you're at like 250 words and you really like your advertorial how it is, just let me know. But for everyone, try to make sure that you try to aim for the minimum of 300 words so that, let's see here, so that you can succeed in the rubric here. You could have as many pictures as you like. I use 2 that are pretty good quality, and I just put them into my image there. And it's up to you on which you want to use. But what I would say is take some time with this one and figure out what items you have to. The headline, sorry everyone, I forgot about that one. I typed in old school watches. I'm going to put enter underneath this one. And I'm going to add in the headline. And then maybe off the top of my head, yeah, maybe something like that. It's not the best headline, but there's no judgment here just yet. So my headline underneath it will be maybe getting you to time. And if I tab in here, maybe I'll put it on the other side just to show off what it's doing. And as you can see here, all of this would add up to the word count as well. Remember, we are always saying that we want the customer to do the call to action. Let's try to look at, let me find another example. Maybe if not watches, because sometimes the watches aren't the best example here. Let's see here. Great. So here's a really good example of a call to action. Let me see here. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can get a better. There we go. Awesome. So now this is a beauty face fact routine. And as you can see here, they're selling their product. Obviously, Face Facts are selling a product here. But you can see that they have this great skin routine on the side over here that discusses what a proper routine of taking care of your skin would look like. And you'll notice that all these look really cool. This might be a cool thing to do for your advertorial as well. As you can see here, having a little title in each paragraph would be nice. But the call to action will be down here, this to enter right here, right? So what you could do is maybe you can make a fake sweepstakes for your customer. So you could see here, maybe I could say something like enter. I think that's how you spell it. Let's see here. And let me just get Daisy. I think that's how you spell it there. Cool. And what you could do here is you could say, and then maybe I want to add in like a cool little design here. Maybe I can insert a shape of, maybe there's like a star. Yeah, cool. So there'll be a star. Maybe I could put it down here. Put it like this a little bit. And again, the shape I added in using shapes was something that you can also use to wrap your text around. So I can go to wrap text and then just put a square here. And then what I can do is to say to enter for a chance to win a new watch, please text get to like 555. I'm just going to use a fake number, something like that. Let's see here. Let's look at that sweepstakes thing here. Yep. So for your chance to win 5,000 a week for the month of June, or one of 100 simple gift packs, you can let's see here. So they do the purchase as well. So this again, this is going to be fake because it's an advertorial that we're just creating to get familiar with it. But you can also do, I would say that your call to action should usually be at the end of the, because you want to call to action at the end after you provide all the information. So again, the process is you're going to want to show the customer that they have an issue. You're going to show the customer that there might be some solutions to the issue. As you can see here, in this one, they're talking a bit about the skincare routine, wherever it went. For sensitive skin, keep your beauty routine plain and simple. As you can see here, the issue that some people might have is that they have sensitive skin. So the solution to it is to have a beauty routine that's plain and simple. And then this is where everything comes in from it too. And then at the end, of course, they have their call to action at the bottom. Purchasing, let's just say any order at our website. Let's see here. I'm going to kind of mimic what they said. We'll get you the chance to win, let's just say $500 every week in the month of April. Let's say that, because we're in April now. Cool. So again, thank you, Solomon, for reminding me about that. The call to action that's down here is something that I would say you don't need to harp on it insanely well. It could be anything that you'd want it to be. Maybe you just want to say to the customer, share this information with someone you know. Or maybe you could say to them, like, reach out to friends or anything about it too. But whatever you're doing, you want to make the customer do something for your product too. So sweepstakes are a good way to do it. Purchasing orders on the website's another way to do it as well. As you can see here from this example, you can enter in to win the chance by visiting their website. So in general, you want to make sure that you can either say visit our website, use something associated with us. Their call to action again is to make it so that you have the customer keep returning to it. And again, something that I nearly forgot as well is over at the top. I'm just going to put in maybe something very, very small that just says a paid promotion or something too, just to let people know it's not too small, that this is a type of product there. And then usually you can make it a bit smaller if you'd want. And again, my graphic design abilities are not the best, so I'm sure you guys are going to do way better than what I have here. But again, this is a basic layout of what an advertorial would look like, right? You have product, you're explaining the product, a little story about the product too. And then you're going to, again, you're going to address a need and a solution to the need by your product. And then you're going to have the customer do something after by having a call to action at the end. And if you want to, as a reminder, you can go to any of these presentations here. If you go to contents and in PowerPoints, and then chapters 11 to 14, if you take a look at that one again, that is the chapter that discusses the different copywriting formulas that you can use for this as well. So maybe you want to make your advertorial by having a promise, picture, proof, and push. Maybe you want to have an advertorial that uses the formula of useful, urgent, unique, and ultra specific. Or maybe you want to use that A-idea copywriting formula as well. So there's lots of different ways you can go about creating your advertorial here using these different formulas. But make sure that you're also doing the headline aspect of it too, because that's one way that you can grab the attention of the customer too. And again, your headline that you have up at the top there will be something that is something that's very catchy for the user to read as well. Faster cars or brighter teeth, warmer home, getting you to time. I think that's what I had, right? Providing you to time. Yeah, getting you to time is one that you have as well. Or you could say getting you to right time or something too. So maybe whichever product you use, you could definitely brainstorm some different headlines for it and then figure out ways to go about making an advertorial based off that. Cool. So again, chapters 11 to 14 have those different copywriting formulas as well. So it's all up to you guys on which one you want to use. I'm completely fine with you guys using any of these. If you don't want to stick to a specific formula, I would say that that's fine too. These are very helpful for making it specific to what you would like to use for advertorial. But again, try to get the information to the user, address the need of a customer, and then have a call to action for that customer as well.